Hi everyone, Strips here again, going over the weekly price movements in Star Wars Unlimited. We do not see any really large spikes, any real dips. I think this is because we're not seeing any large tournaments with different results that are really shaking up the meta, surprising people in any really large way. And unless we do, I'm thinking prices are really probably not going to move a whole lot more until we get the new set Shadows of the Galaxy here in a month or so. Most of the movements will probably honestly at this point be based on spoilers, what we see during spoiler season and what people think will be good. Of course, we may see some online tournament play with some of these cards. So that might be something to look out for when people figure out a good new deck a little bit before release, even before the cards are out, since people can play with them in online settings. We may see, a little bit of some decks figured out in advance. So I think what I was talking about with the previews causing card movements is really, I think, kind of key here for the first one that we're going to be talking about. The first two movement, it says 50% on these two bases. That's really not worth talking about. There's 4 different copies of the base. Doesn't really make sense. So we're going to skip over those. They don't really signal anything as far as future movements or any competitive decks, anything like that. But a black one does, and this is what I was talking about with spoiler season impacting card prices. This one's gone up 35.8%, and that is primarily not because this card is being played in any placing deck. It is not, but we have had a Shadows of the Galaxy spoiler for the pilot of this ship, Poe Dameron, right here, who on attack he discards 3 cards from your hand, and then for each card discarded you can deal 2 damage to a unit or a base, defeat an upgrade, or have the opponent discard a card from their hand. So Poe synergizes quite well with his ship, right? You play Poe on 5. You discard your hand, go down to 0 even, and in Spark of Rebellion, if you have 0 cards in hand, you can still technically discard those zeros and draw. So on turn 5, you play Poe, on turn 6, you play his ship, and then you draw back up, which allows you to then discard cards to Poe again. And Black One works when played and when defeated, so you can do that multiple times. So this one is going up primarily because Poe has been spoiled. And going forward, again, I would be looking at how these spoilers are going to, those are going to be, I'm thinking, the main things that impact card prices going forward. The next card this week, not really due to spoilers or anything, is Relentless Constantine's Folly. It's gone up 22.6%. It is not an expensive card by any means. It's 65 cents. But at the same time, it is a key card when trying to counter those hard control decks. If you're trying to stop Vigilance, you're trying to stop the Super Laser Blast, you're trying to stop any blue deck, heavy control deck, you need your Relentless if you're in black-green. They're really excellent cards, even to sideboard. One of the decks I'm thinking about playing in the next few days is a green-black Boba build with the sideboards in to counter control, just because of how prevalent it can be. And setting those in, and I think people are recognizing that. It would be, I think, probably significantly more expensive than it is now, except that it is a starter deck card. So anyone who has purchased a starter deck has at least one of them. If this was a rare in the actual set, it would probably combine. And it is in the actual set. It's not starter only, but it is in both, right? So it comes in a pre-con. So since it comes in a pre-con, there's more of them out there than there would otherwise be. But that's really it. I'm not going to go into things that are lower than 20%. They usually don't signal very much for the movement. And after we get through the hyperspace cards, we're just on to stuff like Outer Rim Headhunter at 16%, which really is not reflective of any competitive cards, competitive meta, anything like that. We'll go into cards that have lost value. Main one being Harrison Dula down 21.6%. Not a lot because she's not an expensive card, but card prices can just be like a little funky sometimes. We haven't gotten any Spectres so far spoilered for Shadows of the Galaxy yet. We're about halfway through. Again, if we get new ones, she could jump if people come up with a cool new deck when using her. Other than that, I'm going to go quickly over a little bit of spoilers, or at least like the big things that I'm seeing to kind of like forecast a little bit into the future. So we already kind of covered Poe and Black One. The next big thing though, I think that we are getting, at least like signals from the spoilers, is a discard theme. So Kylo Ren, his tap action, he discards a card from their hand. He's got a legendary ship that can be played if it's been discarded. But I think that is also kind of leaning into and signaling potential discard synergies or graveyard synergies if you're like a transplant for Magic the Gathering. The big one being, and an important one, being this rare card right here, which is Palpatine's Return. So it lets you play a card from your discard, and it costs 6 less. If it's a Force unit, it costs 8 less instead. So you can just get your Palpatine. If you're in a red, green, black deck, you can pull your Palpatine unit straight up for that for 6. So you're getting a discount, and he's coming out significantly more early, putting like more pressure out there. So I'd be on the lookout for this kind of a thing. I think this will be a strong thing, definitely a deck somewhere. But that also, I think, synergizes a little bit with yellow in the sense of sneak attack. Because sneak attack, you're playing a unit from your hand, costs 3 less, and then it's defeated. So that defeated unit, again, can be pulled with Palpatine's Return. That kind of a thing, you can get into those kinds of shenanigans. Something that was spoiled yesterday was a Triple Dark Raid, a very, very strong card, I think, especially since Boba is already a deck. This just like kind of like emphasizes that, drives that point home. This lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle. You play it, and then it costs 5 less, and it enters play ready. But then it's bounced to your hand, so it's not discarded. It doesn't synergize with the Palpatine's Return exactly, except I would say that a lot of the stuff that you would be fetching with this, usually like those cards in that deck have a and across a lot of decks have ETB abilities, so when they come out they do something. This lets you play cards like Reinforcement Walker on 6, get the heal, and then it goes to your hand, and then you can like play it again. And you can also swing with it because it comes out ready, so you can play it, heal, attack something, probably remove it, and then like make you last longer, right? So I think this is a really great tool for those mid-range decks. And I think we'll be seeing this going forward a lot. Other than that, there's cards like the Client. I mean, this really great card again. We've been spoiled lots of really great cards that slot into lots of existing decks. This one for blue-black control, where he'll choose a unit for this phase. It gains bounty. Then if you defeat that unit, you heal 5. Decks are even blue-black decks, and even like non-double blue decks, right? Like are running Vigilance out of Aspect to heal, to not lose so quickly to aggro. Cards like the Client do that already for cheaper, and then like the color combinations that usually want to be doing this. So I think the Client will probably also see play. Heal 5 is a major help on trying to survive, and you want to be killing their units anyway, so healing while you do that. And plus he's shielded. You know, I think you'll see him too. He's uncommon though, so you probably won't have trouble getting a hold of him. We'll just like Wrecker too. I think I kind of went over like yellow black, green black, red black, blue black a second ago. But cards like Wrecker too. I mean, I think Wrecker will see play in aggro. Great top end finisher. The 7 overwhelm damage on 6 is really great top end. So we're seeing like really great cards across different archetypes. I'm excited to see what will come next. I'll be back next week, see if anything has changed. But like I said, I think the major, just to reiterate from earlier, major changes will probably just be coming from the spoilers that we get going forward, unless we get some major shakeup in the tournament scene that makes a deck or a card popular that has not, already performed well, which I think is a little unlikely, but is always possible. But that'll be it for this week. I will see you next week for the Market Watch, at least. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I do one of these once a week. Other than that, I do gameplay videos, sticking with about one deck a week. Other than that, thanks for watching again. Goodbye.